We should pull up the EYL WhatsApp chat and show people what Diallo's thoughts were on the passing of OJ.
Diallo
I
was
said we
crying.
shouldn't be on the air today. We should take a day off to mourn. But y'all like picking cotton at night. I got us a day off. Every black person should take a day off if you were alive. Oh,
Tell
what
us,
a time
tell
to
us
be
about
alive.
tell us about your greatest memories of OJ Diallo. Oh, the orange juice.
Listen, I'm not a fan of ball chasing, so you know OJ. I know him more from those. My best memory of was them movies, them spoof movies, Airplane.
Yeah.
So for those that don't know, OJ Simpson. Well, I want to ask y'all this, but he's died at 76. He was struggling with cancer for quite a while.
And lied about it. Good old.
Well, Diallo, I don't know. I did watch the little Twitter joint where he wasn't technically lying about it. He was saying that I don't think he lied about it. I think because somebody was asking a question, he was saying a couple different things at once. He didn't say like he beat it. I think he was talking about the sickness, the sickness. He started smoking weed and it helped him get rid of that morning sickness thing.
He promised Cam and Mace, because I told a couple text chat groups I'm in, I said that Cam and Mace's NFL analyst has passed away. And he had promised to them that he was coming back and recovering. So I suggested that maybe he got away with another lie.
Here we go.
Yeah, so I remember they were asking him. There were rumors about him going into hospice, and he was like, "Oh no, strong as ever. I'm about to sign up for the 2025 draft."
And he said, "I'm about to have a party. I'm about to have a party right now. Super Bowl party.
If the death don't fit, you must have quit.
If the tumor don't fit, now that's
don't fit.
Now. Come on now.
All right, that's
y'all. Right. Come on, y'all. Listen. Right. So tell me this. So when you think about, so there's a title of an article that says OJ Simpson, former football star acquitted of murder, dies at 76. What's being said in there? Jared kind of hinted that he think he did it too, but like,
who said Jared didn't say he did it?
Yeah, he just said he got away with a couple lies.
Oh, I thought you meant the other thing.
I suggested he may have. I mean,
brother. No, hey, you got to get back on code, brother.
We about to lose all
Black
our
community made an agreement 2 decades ago.
He was acquitted,
and it didn't.
And therefore,
he's innocent.
Thank you.
So, as Cam and Mace said, Cam and Mace made clear that when people gave them grief for having him as their NFL analyst, they said, "Hey, he was acquitted." And white folks have been telling us for centuries that if there's an acquittal,
you know what,
you got to let it go.
Now,
I just want to say very quickly, I saw somebody I saw this, that all jokes aside, I understand. Look, prostate is serious. We've talked about it on here. I've been, some have said oversharing in my willingness to encourage people to get it checked, particularly black men. And again, I wanted to point out that those of us so-called mixed, the doctors have made it clear there's a one-drop rule in medical science. If you are mixed, thinking you're going to lean into your white genes to get that extra health, it don't work like that according to the medical community that I've been talking to. They're like, you're on the black spectrum, act accordingly. So I just want to remind it. So I'm not, all jokes aside, I am encouraging that people take that seriously.
So let's real quick though, let's not suffer from ageisms, because I know when the trial was going on, I was in 3rd grade, I think, right? So there's a good chance that.
Oh wow, damn! Are we that? Am I that much older than you?
I think, or 4. I don't know. I'm 40. I think
in the mid 90s.
I was in middle school. I think I can't remember. I know I was.
I know exactly where I was. I was watching Hakeem Olajuwon versus Patrick Ewing when they cut the game and they're in the NBA Finals to say OJ's riding, he's escaping in a Bronco.
That Bronco ride was
I was with my ex and her friends at the time, and one of her friends said, "Oh, wait a minute, I was I was friends with what's her name, and we went shopping in that Bronco. And I was the one in the room saying, I don't give a damn, put the game back on. I literally could not have cared less. I was like, put the game back on. It's Hakeem Olajuwon versus Patrick Ewing.
So let's give a fast,
all right, anyway.
A fast forward. So OJ Simpson played at USC, University of Southern Cal, star football player, was drafted, went to the Buffalo Bills, where he played for my college coach, Lou Saban. And he had a top tier career, and then, married this woman. But in starting in 1989, he actually hit her and threatened to kill her, and he pleaded no contest to the charges, and he was sentenced to probation, counseling, community service. But later on, when Kim and Fred Goldman, they released a statement of reading of Ron's Kim, what's her name? Not Kim Goldman, but what's the wife name? Simpson. Oh, yeah, Simpson. So basically they was at a restaurant and they was eating, and then she went home, and then because they go to the restaurant often, the Goldman guy brought something home that her mother left behind, and
sunglasses,
right? So that's kind of how
Nicole Brown, right? Nicole Brown Simpson, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And so
Nicole Brown.
After that, the murders happened, and OJ got acquitted with Johnny Cochran by his side, but then later on he was found liable, and so they was fighting for him to pay some charges because he's actually was about to write a book, but then the Goldman took over the book. I didn't actually know that they took over the book.
If I did it,
yeah. But then they changed the name of it though. The Goldman's.
Honestly, I don't remember, because the argument was if he makes any money from it, they're going to take it.
Right.
Because he did lose the civil suit and owed a good amount of money.
Yeah. And so yeah, that's kind of like a quick snapshot of OJ Simpson and where he come from. And then lately he was on It Is What It Is podcast. It seems like Cam and Mace are hiring a bunch of like people that the media industry threw away. So Maurice Claret is on there. You had OJ, and it's interesting. But the Kim and Ron Goldman, Fred Goldman, they released a statement saying that the news of Ron's killer passing always is a mixed bag of complicated emotions and reminds us that the journey through grief is not linear. For 3 decades, we tirelessly pursued justice for Ron and Nicole, and despite his civil judgment and his confession, if I did do it, or if I did it, the hope for true accountability has ended. So the state won't be able to punish him like they will, but they, made their little statements. But Diallo, I know you was joking in terms of
But just quickly, when he got convicted and sentenced for the Las Vegas I think the theft of his property, and then he was accused of kidnap, I think was part of the charges, because once a gun is pulled in a room and you tell somebody they can't leave, it's kidnap. I think that was part of it. But the judge clearly, I forgot the number, she associated the length of time and the years she gave to what would have been appropriate for the original killing of the two people, of Goldman and Brown. So there was, all respect to the Goldmans, I'm not saying they got what they were looking for in terms of the states giving justice, but there was an attempt by a state official to add to that final sentence something off of that original charge. And I do want to say, I changed the background here because we're going to as a family start watching it again tonight. OJ Made in America is, do want to encourage people, if I've ever encouraged anybody to deal with commercial media, this is it. This is one of the best, if not the best series I've ever seen in terms of a contemporary commercial media product that explains the intersection of race, class, and media. And you get it, and I think it's a remarkable series, and it talks about OJ's early rise, the context of the community. What's that right there? What is that?
Somebody saying
AI art, some shitty AI art.
R.I.P.
Oh,
our
wow.
Black King.
Yeah, see, that's now, and I remember being at the Million Man March and people were talking about free OJ and all this other kind of stuff.
I'm gonna delete
that
everybody
nonsense
who
there.
says shit like that.
Yeah, but
and-
what I do want to say is that this series, it's not to justify OJ or suggest he's a hero. It's
Just an
for
innocent
me,
Black man.
it's a condemnation of the society that would both produce an OJ and the various societal responses. And if you did not know, if you were not there, or if you were there and weren't paying enough attention like me, this series is fantastic. So I would encourage people to check it out. Okay, go ahead.
I think OJ is what I have come to call the living embodiment syndrome. When you see Black men in particular engage in behaviors that have been all but exclusively white behaviors, the Black men become the living embodiment of that thing that is predominantly done by the oppressors. Because, white folks love to do that shit. Like OJ was the first man to beat a case with overwhelming evidence. Michael Jackson became the living embodiment of child predation and beating that case. R. Kelly became the living embodiment. It's like this, Jussie Smollett became the living embodiment of Trump making false racial claims about a racial attack. So it's just, that's one thing that I kind of take away, that this living embodiment syndrome, that the dominant culture, whenever they can find a Black figure what's his name? Bill Cosby became the living embodiment of the predation in Hollywood, and someone using their fame and status in the entertainment industry to prey on women and prospective starlets. And I'm not saying that any of these men are innocent, but the way the media pay it, like OJ literally became a verb. And it's not, you don't get when someone says, oh, you got OJ'd or you got Cosby, as opposed to you got Weinstein. So this living embodiment syndrome is another thing in terms of representation, when the oppressor controls the narrative and dominates not just the media, but in turn, their dominance of the media is so at forefront or at the fore within our own consciousness, and directs our attention and directs our conclusions or viewpoints. So this living embodiment syndrome, I think that OJ was probably what I got most out of his life.
The only OJ I know is quarter brick, half brick, whole brick. Hey, that's the
Ain't he in trouble though? OJ the Juice Man in trouble too.
Damn, Juice.
He on charges. I know he innocent.
What the hell Juice done did?
OJ the Juice Man in trouble too. Yeah, I just hope.
Damn, Juice.
So yeah, he behind bars. So you ain't all your OJs.
All my OJs.
I know you and OJ go way back.
No, we don't go way back. Me and Lou Saban go way back.
You name drop OJ on this man.
Come on. You name dropping for me. I name drop Lou Saban.
Arrested in Metro Atlanta, drug trafficking charges.
Damn, OJ, the Juice Man. Ago.
No, so Johnny Cochran. This series goes into the history of Johnny Cochran that I know I did not know before seeing the series. Johnny Cochran, I think, had a remarkable career. One worthy
he was
of much
Geronimo
more attention.
Jajaga Pratt's lawyer, instrumental in getting Geronimo out.
But that part I knew. I'm talking about before that. I'm talking about his early start and the being. They show him in his first trial where he was not even allowed as a Black man to actually be the lawyer of record and had to speak his lawyering through a white lawyer to win a case demonstrating police brutality. So Cochran has, again, well beyond what he's most known for at this point. To your point about Jijaga, to the point I'm making about his early career, I think he deserves a lot more attention than he's gotten. Yeah, but
Did
I
him and Alton Maddox?
Pratt's nephew on 53rd Street, Hyde Park.
Hmm.
Yeah, his sister's son. He just invited me to something that if he don't send me the link to, I'm gonna forget. But yeah, he's a capoeira instructor here on the South Side.
Angola.
So you ain't the only one to know people, Jeezy. Jeezy.
Jesus. God dang.
Jesus.
Pray to me if you want. Matter of fact, since you just called me Jesus.
You ain't the only one who know people. I know people.
Since you just called me Jesus, I think we should let the announcement go so people can pay homage.
You really?
Oh, dang. You starting
really?
early?
I mean, listen,
yeah, we can cut into it and make the announcement known.
You gave up power over the comments.
Bruh, no, we're gonna take a pause on the comments. Since you called me,
casually took it back like you didn't renounce and resign from your role.
Since you called me Jesus, is only right that I be Jesus.
It never happened.
We got some comments related to this story first before we move on to the announcement. There were a couple.
Free OJ the Juice Man.
I heard OJ
Diallo's favorite remixer, got his crew. I heard OJ also beat his previous partner as well. Give me some Jim Brown vibes for sure. No, absolutely. And this series goes into that. This series, like OJ was a mess in many, many ways. And that was one of them. He absolutely was alleged and accused. And I don't know that there were any convictions per se, but the series paints a picture where he was desirous of being overly friendly to whites and willing to be overly violent with women and ultimately even white women. So white men seem to.
As he was chasing balls, y'all managed to overlook all that. But
who is y'all?
The ball chaser.
But Camden actually said that. That's why they brought him on the show, because he let niggas know they ain't shit. So I think.
I just always
y'all be giving these ball chasers mad leeway. I mean, Jesus.
I just have this weird negative association with watching one of his last games at my father's house, and it was like the end of OJ's career. It was not the visit I was looking for. So it was like OJ. I think he was playing with he played with San Francisco at the end of his career. I think he was playing.
Oh, I didn't even know I ain't watch. I mean, I don't remember none of his league.
Yeah, I was a little kid, but I caught the end of his career. But he was always a star. And to Diallo's point, I mean, he became maybe even a bigger star after his football
running through the airport. Wasn't he selling stamps tonight?
He wasn't no Bo Jackson though.
Hertz commercial. And when this series breaks down, including interviewing the director of that commercial, that is one of my favorite parts of the series, because it becomes, and I used to use it in my communications classes all the time, because it becomes very clear about what this society is looking for in terms of Black representation that appeases a white politic aesthetic need. It is, so yeah, they go into all of that. They break down and they talk about how, particularly if folks of a certain generation remember the old white woman we see saying, "Go OJ, go," like she's put in there in particular, they say, to make white people feel comfortable about seeing this strong Black man running through an airport, which would usually cause them terror. So they got to be sure to have the white, I mean, so they're very, I think it's a brilliant. Yeah, but yeah.
Airports weren't that strongly associated in the United States.
Oh, right, exactly. Puns and all of that.
You'll get ahead of your time.
Exactly. Yeah,
exactly. So every generation had their Bo Jackson, I guess. So you had the Jim Browns, Walter Paytons, Bo Jackson, Emmitt Smith.
But you got to watch how they talk about OJ, because they make the point. They're making the point that they're saying we have always been looking for this, but OJ, the director of that commercial, says he was African but with European features. He actually calls OJ an African, but says with European features. So he gets all, like, you can see, you can hear Cress Welsing in your ears saying, "I told you, motherfucker." Like, you can hear, like, it's such a perfect, that part I think might be my favorite part. I mean, because the way they're talking about him, and the his tone and his features and what they made him feel. Or I mean, what he made them feel about themselves is what I was trying to say.
Wait. Is this Air Doctor too? Or did dude look like Air Doctor?
Damn, Geechee.
I don't
No, he
know.
did. But
Bruh, being
anyway,
under financial assault for 3 decades is wild, though.
because
I mean,
these
getting away with slaughtering 2 people in front of their house is wild, though.
Jared, you off code. Come on, man. The black community
the,
asks so little of each
the
other.
rest of these
Jared,
chats. The rest of
you
these
off
chats
code.
are on code, Diallo. So
Get
you'll be
back
all
on
right.
code, Jared.
Because Air Doctor came back on code. Black man
See, but
beat
I
the
want to be
system and we mad.
so, but that's my point. And I don't want to be misunderstood here because I am not an advocate of any of this. But politically speaking, when I know this upsets people, but one of the reasons why I like Frank Wilderson's work so much is because he describes a scene in Incognito where he's talking with some in South Africa during the anti-apartheid struggle, talking about meeting some revolutionaries. They go through some wild stuff and they're having this conversation. And the long story short was one of the arguments made was, rather than Mandela be freed, it would be better for the struggle were he to remain a prisoner and become and I'm not doing it justice, but the point was it would be better for the struggle were he to remain a prisoner than be free, because in freedom he will become a misrepresentation of a false freedom, something to that effect. I see this OJ case in much the same way. In the sense that OJ, my point about feeling like the evidence points to his having committed the crime is, to me, makes the political argument more powerful. If he is guilty of committing the crime and was still able, given his particular place and time as a particularly racialized black man of a particular class, of a particular symbolic importance, of a particular financial importance, of a particular aesthetic importance to the colony, that makes the example more powerful than if he was another railroaded, innocent, truly innocent black man. So that's part of at least how I admit I'm approaching this and have always approached it. And then when you see the series, it makes it supports, for me, it validates my approach to it. So
Can I also think OJ don't get enough credit for? I think white folks owe OJ Simpson a great debt, because I wrote an essay years ago called "How White Folks Riot," and after the murders and during the trials and the way that it was perceived that OJ was being treated with kid gloves, even before the trial and the slow chase and all that. Remember, just a couple of months after the murders, they had the Republican Revolution, where the Republicans had gained. This is where we got Newt Gingrich and all these characters. I know Republicans keep spitting out villains so fast we can't keep up, but it was a time where Newt Gingrich was kind of the Trump, like the top Republican, ultra conservative, right wing, lock them up, throw away the key, cut all social programs and deregulate and abolish any taxes, especially taxes that go to social programs. That happened. The Republican revolutions, white folks rioted in the ballot box. And I don't think that it was all happening during the same time. And Bill Clinton was in office, but the Congress was running shit, and just with the help of Bill Clinton, actually, where the Republicans took over. So the Republican Revolution, I think, was fomented, and OJ was the foundation that the 94 OJ murders was the springboard for the 94 Republican Revolution, ultra neoconservatism, that we're still dealing with those policies to this day, and still suffering from those policies to this day. And I think that a lot of white folks know in their own minds, not saying that it's accurate, but in their own minds, whenever they get mad, they run into the polls and vote. At black folks, they run and vote Republicans instead of the tax and spend welfare Democrats.
No, that's right. And by the way, this series makes the point that I think it even gets backed up a little bit before that, because I agree to a large extent with what you're saying, but I think they're saying we saw what happened here. Rodney King got beaten on camera. Black people went crazy.
Went sane.
Again, to your point, I'm talking from their perspective.
Right.
Black people went crazy and then freed OJ after he not only killed Ron Goldman, but one of the blonde, rich white girls we gave him, that we ended up allowing him to take. He went and killed her, hacked her up, and got acquitted by the same black folks who were paying us back for freeing the white cops that beat Rodney King. And they said, "Oh, hell no." And I think that was also part of what drove them to say, we will create yet another villain right on schedule to work in league with the lesser villain of Clinton, and create the world, or prepare for the world that we're living in now. But yeah, and I think again, this series does a great job of contextualizing the OJ case, which is part of my argument around what happened with Rodney King, and reminding people of that incident, which I think is really important, especially today, for maybe some younger folks who are coming into anti-police violent protests and activism, to be reminded of the actual context. I think this again does a great job of reminding of the context of that moment.
But Jared, you know about celebrity worship, so why would you want to even talk about the celebrity? Like, what's the purpose?
Again, I think I'm explaining it. To me, it's much like this series. And I used to show this in my class and remind people, it says OJ Made in America, but it's the second part of that title that's the important. This is not about OJ.
But
this is not about OJ. This is about the world that created OJ and created the response and continues to create the response to OJ. That I think, and I haven't heard any celebrity worship from this panel this morning. If anything, it's been.
But celebrity worship being a problem, do they think not talking about celebrities is the solution?
I always find it interesting, and I already unhighlighted them, but the name suggests that something about in the South chilling. But I think people like silos, and so if majority of the people are celebrity worship, whether you're organizer or you're in a PE or whatever, like what you're supposed to do, just sit in the corner and talk with the people that you know, or like at some point you're gonna have to be able to like speak people language or engage with them in some type of way, or even help them highlight contradictions. But I do know people prefer silos more than engaging where people at. So maybe that. Just chill out. MJ, who highlighted this?
I did, because I also felt a kind of way with Diallo listing him in that list, that rogues gallery.
I said he's the living embodiment of child predation.
I know. I'm just saying.
Hey, listen.
But
hey, I saw that documentary Life with Michael.
And I saw the one.
And I don't go off of nothing but what Michael Jackson said out his own mouth. But y'all run with that.
I saw the one that breaks down the evidence in Leaving Neverland.
What the man said out his own mouth.
And what are you saying he said?
In his own house. But hey,
what are you saying he said in his own house?
I'll talk about Muhammad and Jesus Christ before I mess with y'all Michael Jackson. So y'all, I'm not defending.
To me, I'm agreeing with the.
I can't slouch any further in my chair.
If anything, I'm agreeing with what you're saying. He became the embodiment of something that he wasn't doing, in part because of his.
Well, the innocence or guilt of any embodiment is not relevant. It's the innocent or guilt of the embodiment.
I know, but I'm talking about what you're saying now, not your argument around embodiment. That's why I just finished saying I agreed with your point about embodiment. But what you're suggesting now is that you actually believe he did it. So that's why
it ain't about what I believe. I'm only going off of what I know. And I heard the man say some things that I just can't.
And I asked you, what is it that he said? What is it?
Sleeping in the bed with children is the greatest joy, or some shit. And what he confessed to doing in Wonderland. And I know goddamn well I can't sing. I can dance pretty okay, but I can't sing for shit. And if I went in my backyard and started painting everything, and I don't have a backyard in this gritty city, I'm on some good time shit. But if I had a backyard and I started putting up sugar plums and candy giraffes and just making it a Neverland to attract children who ain't even related to me, people would.
That's not why he did it. Wow, yeah, that's really
y'all
interesting.
Can say why he did it or why he didn't do it.
I mean,
I'm just saying, y'all give these people passes that would never get. So. But
I'm not giving him a wow. That's so deep. How is wait a minute. How is investigating and doing research to the extent that watching a documentary and reading a few articles is research? How is that giving someone a pass? What I'm saying is, that's not
Diallo pulling a Dr. Mayat right now. He pulling a Dr. Mayat.
I'm very critical of his behavior, but I'm putting it in a context that is not being accounted for. And part of it is your embodiment argument. Okay. So that's why I think it's really wild. That's how you're. This is separate from the embodiment
argument.
Let's finish the Q&A because we got to leave OJ to go to MJ. Let's stay on the OJ, not MJ.
Those behaviors. I don't care if you can famous and can sing and dance or not. I'm a side-eye. Any adult man, I don't give a shit where I didn't have a childhood.
But his celebrity is what made the parents of those kids bring their kids to him. That's part of the whole thing. There's a whole context here that's being ignored.
Bring the kids to me and see what happened. They get drop kicked out the door.
But they wouldn't because you're not Michael Jackson. He had to
open his door. If I came to Michael Jackson's house, security would drag me off. What do you mean?
No, of course.
What that got to do with it? That's a weird.
You not being Michael Jackson and him being Michael Jackson has everything to do with why he behaved that way and why people were willing to bring their kids to him. So to say that should have nothing to do with how we understand what happened is absurd. It has everything to do. It's the whole point. It's the whole fiction of what celebrity is meant to mean. The people have, that's all. So all I'm saying is the evidence around him actually abusing and molesting children does not exist according to what I've looked at. The weirdness is all there, but it has more to do, as I'm trying to say about OJ, with the fallacy of celebrity and what the society claims to be than it does with what he actually did or didn't do. That's all I'm trying to say. You got me over here with the defenders of Michael.
Let's finish OJ before we go to MJ. Let's finish OJ. So
we're not going. I mean, there's no more MJ. That's it.
So Diallo does surprise me sometimes of the stuff that he know from these young people shit. So he be
OJ the Juice Man is an old ass rapper. What are you talking about?
I mean, that's still young boy rap though.
How old is OJ the Juice Man? Okay, he's in his 40s.
Slow down. Y'all joke on me all the time when I don't know y'all old ass rappers. OJ is my old ass rapper, not your generation. That's mine.
He in his 40s. Right?
I'm in my 40s too. You ain't in your 40s.
Then that ain't teeny bopper. Teeny bopper is literally teenager.
I'm just saying you be knowing some young people shit. Like you even know the what's the something, the Booty Hole Brown song. You know that song, Diallo. You already sung the song last time. Yeah.
Listen to me. OJ the Juice Man and Gucci Mane while I was still in the club. You know, I wasn't on the dance floor per se.
You wasn't in no damn club with no OJ the Juice Man.
Changed to buy some drinks.
You wasn't in no club with
still in the club.
Okay, let me see. I'm gonna test you right now. What song they play when they want the club to end and send people home? You ain't been in the club.
I said I'm not currently in the club. I said I was in the club when OJ the Juice Man and Gucci Mane.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Putting out new music. I was that was still my era.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. And during that era,
question though, what are the go home from the club songs from each era? I don't know if I remember mine. That's
C Murder. Fuck them other niggas because I'm down for that ends the party. The party is over. Everybody got to go home because they're gonna be No, when OJ the Juice Man was out, C Murder was still
shutting down the club. I don't open or
you wasn't shut down because they were sending you out. You probably was already home by then.
I'm here today because of I have a very special set of skills.
Is either that or
how to navigate the hood.
Yo Gotti F you.
Shut down the club in the hood. You must have been talk about teeny boppers. You was at Club USA. You was at a country club. Who the hell stayed to close down the club? Them cats in the parking lot.
Diallo, you ain't heard what I say. Not close on the club.
I never opened the club. I never shut that shit down. I was there before the hood got there, and I left before the hood got there. I knew how to navigate the hood, man.
Shout out to Latif. What up for the $2 and exposing
I
these
ain't on the payroll of the club. I ain't closing shit down unless I'm on the payroll. When I worked at Wendy's, I closed
Diallo,
that shit down.
slow down. I'm talking about the DJ. The DJ plays a certain type of music to make the crowd shift.
I never closed down nobody. Well, I would close down the reggae club, but I didn't close down no hip hop club. They playing rap. They playing OJ
from 9 to 10.
Yeah, the curfew.
Exactly.
He snuck out at 9. They got to be back by 10.
Didn't have to sneak out.
He jumped in there, was like,
dance real quick. When I'd leave. It was still a line at the door. When I'd leave, people still be trying to get in.
Diallo had to leave early to go to church. His ass could be in the club too long.
No, wasn't church. But I'm just saying, if you were shutting down clubs, Geechee, you more gangster than I gave you credit for.
I mean, I used to DJ at clubs, Diallo. I told you that too. I used to DJ. So anyway,
I don't remember that part.
I told you I DJ. I worked at 102 Jams in Greensboro, and I DJ'd there, and I DJ'd when I first went to Kentucky. I was DJing too.
What's your DJ name?
I can't tell you, man. Y'all gonna laugh.
You damn right.
Regardless, it's over. Don't even try. Just whatever shredded dignity you think you got, just put it on the table, man. I didn't name myself. They named me, and I kept it. That's how you get a name. That's real. That's
stop laughing, though, man. Stop laughing.
That's very street of you. That's very authentic. You didn't name yourself. I respect that.
In the G, in the Trey 4, and Greensboro, in the Triad.
Get the name? Are we
I'm
really
telling
not
you.
going to get the name?
I'm telling you.
Oh, my bad.
In the Triad area, Greensboro, North Carolina, High Point, North Carolina, these areas, I was known as Snipes, Young Snipes.
Oh, there ain't nothing to be ashamed of.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, it was because when I was younger, I actually the plot twist. When I was younger, as I got older, people say I look like Don Cheadle, but before that, I looked like Wesley Snipes.
Oh, okay.
But it was funny because even when I went to a military ball with my girlfriend at the time, and because Wesley Snipes is actually from South Carolina too, and his dad was at the ball, and this lady said, "I got to introduce you to him." And she said, "Look at this guy."
Turned him on to sovereign citizenship. You the one that told him to stop paying his taxes.
This guy don't never let me finish any damn story. God,
I'm just saying, you like the Black Forrest Gump.
I'm just saying,
you was right there.
But anyway, at the military ball when I was younger, I was at the military ball with my girlfriend. I'm gonna try to talk over Diallo, no matter he keeps going. And the lady was like, "I got to introduce you to his dad," and she introduced me to Wesley Snipes' dad. And his dad looked at me and was like, "Who your daddy is again?"
Yeah, right.
Because he thought I looked
somebody
like
a check. He was like, "I might owe somebody a check."
Did you give him his Gullah Nation driver's license?
No, we don't do stuff like that. Chill out. We ain't with y'all. We ain't with them people. Anyway. What was this Red Double Cross for Blood by Reed? Okay, who's this? Y'all read that? Double Cross for Blood by Henry S. Johnson? Don't know that. Okay, let's finish up these chats so we can get to our next segment. We done, Diallo done derail us. But I ain't gonna lie, this dude do look like a young Air Doctor. That's why I thought that. But my bad, man. Like all light skinned people don't look like that. Jared don't look like that.
On this show, Geechee. Stop bringing the show down.
Talk about people. What you talking about?
We don't talk about people's appearances and make fun of people.
That's not making fun.
This show.
See, now you making fun because I ain't never. You know what? Anyway, celebrities are vehicles to have larger discussion. It's not just about them. I hope people would know that by now, but maybe not. Maybe it's a little struggle for people to understand that. Shout out to ZZ for the 10s, LA riots, the cops that got away for the beating of Rodney King, Dr. Ball, Burning Philosophy. In return, they give us a free OJ, a ninja that's not us, the start of the free whoever movement as I know it. Okay.
No, there was free Huey. I think it was the corruption of the free movement, because now y'all say free everybody. They out here free. What's that boy's name? Now I'm afraid to name people that are in the mainstream media. Free Young Thug.
EYL.
Free used to be Free Huey, Free George Jackson, and then went to Free OJ, and now we all the way down to Free Young Thug.